Gholdengo might just be the most influential Pokemon in Generation 9 competitive Pokemon singles. It's not overtly overpowered, but it's definitely going to be a Pokemon that's on a lot of teams and is in fact currently the #1 most used Pokemon. Gholdengo is a vanilla strong Pokemon. It has good stats, a good typing, and a good move pool. But what makes it the most influential Pokemon is its ability Good as Gold. On the surface, Good as Gold doesn't look too meta-defining. Gholdengo's not affected by moves like Taunt or Roar. That's fine, but why would that be meta-defining? Well, it's also because it blocks one more move. But first, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more Generation 9 competitive Pokemon content. We've seen a lot of new growth with Scarlet and Violet, and it's free and doesn't cost you anything. Gholdengo, very importantly, blocks Defog. Because Defog technically lowers evasion, that move now gets blocked by the Good as Gold ability. Hazards are a critical part of competitive singles Pokemon. At the very basic level, type advantages run Pokemon, but in-game the AI wouldn't switch their fire type out of a water type Pokemon, they'd leave it in to die. Human players are not that dumb and will switch out of bad matchups. No one is ever going to stay in on a bad matchup, so switching becomes very common and a very fundamental part of the game. Hazards like Stealth Rock and Spikes punish switching, and that role is so important that they're on every single team. You almost need hazards as a way to break down Pokemon. The game does have ways to combat hazards, known as hazard control. Rapid Spin removes all forms of hazards, and Defog removes hazards on both sides of the field. The trade-off was always that Rapid Spin only removes hazards on your side of the field, but in exchange it can be blocked by Ghost-type Pokemon. Defog, on the other hand, would remove hazards on both sides, but cannot really be stopped except for Taunt. Generation 9 even added more hazard removal options with Mortal Spin, a poison-type hazard removal option, and Tidy Up, a move that removes hazards and uses Dragon Dance at the same time. Gholdengo's ability to stop hazard removal makes it a very good pick on any team. Its Ghost and Steel typing means it blocks Rapid Spin and Mortal Spin, and its ability blocks Defog. Only Maushold's Tidy Up can remove hazards versus Gholdengo, and unfortunately, even though it's quite strong, Maushold is not a very common Pokemon because of Rocky Helmet and Ghost-type Pokemon like Annihilate. Corviknight, which was a top Defog option in Generation 8 and would be a top Defog option in Generation 9, is completely shut down by Gholdengo. Hawlucha is ordinarily a devastating sweeper Pokemon, but some people have even tried using it as a bulky Mold Breaker defogger because Mold Breaker would prevent Good as Gold from stopping Defog. Gholdengo enables hazard stack strategies to a huge degree, and it's quickly becoming one of the dominant team structure. To further help on hazard stack, Generation 9 even added a few hazard Pokemon too. Glimmora has emerged as a top hazard setter because it has Stealth Rock, Spikes, and its ability Toxic Debris. Focus Sash Glimmora can very realistically get multiple layers up, and then Gholdengo can keep them up. Also, Garchomp got Spikes in Generation 9. Garchomp is a terrifying Pokemon, and it can easily get up Stealth Rock and Spikes for a team. Once again, Gholdengo can keep them up. A very common team idea is a straightforward offense structure. Lead with Glimmora or Garchomp and then get hazards up. Use a team slot for Gholdengo to keep them up, and then start attacking with some of the most powerful attackers in the tier like Xianpao or Roaring Moon. Dealing with these strong attackers is already tough, but it becomes even tougher when every time you switch in a defensive Pokemon, it takes a lot of damage if it doesn't have heavy-duty boots. In the short term, hazards can turn an attack from a 3-hit KO to a 2-hit KO, and in the long term, all the little bits of damage add up. It's a cumulative effect that might be a little hard to understand just by hearing about it, but is something incredibly obvious when you play a couple games. What makes Gholdengo the #1 used Pokemon is that it's independently a great Pokemon too, it's just that the ability to block hazard removal increases its value by a magnitude. First of all, Gholdengo has the valuable Steel typing, which makes it good defensively. Ghost plus Steel is a unique combination too, with plenty of immunities and resistances. Its signature move, Make It Rain, offers a more than decent Steel-type stab move to take advantage of that high special attack. Shadow Ball plus Make It Rain is often a very good combination to cause a lot of damage. Beyond that, Gholdengo's move pool means it's very flexible in what it can do. It has Nasty Plot to become a setup sweeper, Recover for reliable recovery, and Trick, which makes it a good Choice Scarf Pokemon too. Its coverage is decent with ideas like Psyshock and Thunderbolt and Focus Blast. Terrestrialization isn't typically the main focus of Gholdengo. Its defensive typing is already great, and generally speaking, you'd rather save your terrestrialization for a different Pokemon. However, Terra fighting Focus Blast Gholdengo is very useful to beat Dark-type Pokemon who think that they can beat Gholdengo. Theoretically, Gholdengo can use any type because of Terra Blast, and with terrestrialization the sky is the limit, but generally Terra fighting is the most logical. Choice Scarf is one of the more common items on Gholdengo because it's a raw combination of speed and power. It can often clean up a game or trick something for the utility of it. Choice Scarf Gholdengos do have to be careful around Shed-Tail Cyclizar, otherwise it can take your Shadow Ball and turn it into a sweep. But other than that, Choice Scarf Gholdengo is very reliable. The other main movesets are about Nasty Plot and often with Air Balloon. Air Balloon is a pretty straightforward idea on a Steel-type Pokemon because it helps versus the Ground-type. But in Gholdengo's case, it's also for something very specific: Great Tusk. Great Tusk, a Paradox Donphan form, has emerged as one of the top Rapid Spin threats in the game. Switching in Gholdengo to block Great Tusk Rapid Spin is very risky because you might simply get hit by Headlong Rush. Air Balloon gives you that protection versus Great Tusk and means you can better switch in to stop it from using Rapid Spin. This is not a bulletproof solution. Great Tusk can run Knockoff to hit Gholdengo. In fact, Great Tusk is actually number 2 in usage behind Gholdengo. Similar to Gholdengo, Great Tusk is a good Pokemon independently, but it's also used a lot because it's a hazard control option that can beat Gholdengo if it predicts right. Iron Treads, the other Paradox Donphan Pokemon, can cause similar issues to Gholdengo. However, it's used a lot less because it's weaker and doesn't have the Headlong Rush close combat combination. It's also worth noting that even Choice Scarf Gholdengo can use Nasty Plot. The idea would be to trick the Choice Scarf off and cripple something and then try to win with Nasty Plot. Gholdengo is mildly controversial because what if it's making Hazard Stack too strong? Even though Heavy Duty Boots does exist, having to use it or else having to take 25% of damage every turn you switch is a miserable experience. It's tough to taunt the hazards in the first place because Glimmora and Garchomp are both relatively strong and fast. You'd have to use a Pokemon like Prankster Grimmsnarl and always have it in at the right time. Is that overpowered? Not many people think so at the moment, but it has been discussed occasionally. There's no doubt about it, Gholdengo is one of the top Pokemon in the metagame, and it will likely continue that way for a long time. Hazards are integral to Pokemon, and that trend does not ebb and flow. The demand for hazards will never end because they're always going to be valuable because they're tied to the most fundamental part of the game. Because of that, the demand for Gholdengo will always exist in competitive singles Pokemon, so expect it to be a top 5 Pokemon for a while. Let me know what Pokemon you want me to talk about next down in the comments below.